Okay, so this was running off of the last one. This is Disturbing Lost Media from Reddit. This is by Blame It On George, I hope. We're going to do 15 minutes to right there, and then we're going to call it. So let's get into this.
In November of 2022, Reddit user AccurateSquirrel189 posted about some uncomfortable lost episodes from a game show titled The Moment of Truth. The post reads, "The Moment of Truth was a 2008 reality show where contestants are asked over 50 questions by a polygraph examiner prior to taping, probing questionable or unethical truths about the contestant. 21 of those questions are chosen to be answered by the contestant on set, with the contestant's family and or close friends sitting and watching as they reveal unsettling truths of their life. While answering more questions and reaching milestones earn them more potential cash winnings, they would also make the questions significantly more personal and make you question if it's even worth the consequences of doing so. An episode from the first season was nearly pulled from airing due to intense controversy and criticism of a particular contestant."
Sorry. Gotta get a couple pain pills for my head. Sorry. Now let's do it.
"Who seemed heartless and careless about how the game affected her husband's marriage and feelings. The host was even against the episode airing. The top prize is $500,000, and only one contestant has successfully passed the final question, and that contestant is Melanie Williams. She was a contestant who had lived a polygamous lifestyle in a polygamous community, experiencing sexual abuse. In her appearances on the show, she admits several truths about not just herself, but also the community she and her parents lived in. These questions involved her admitting yes to her father setting her up on a date with a 73-year-old man while she was a teenager, that her experience impacted and made her fearful of relationships with men, and that her polygamous community gave alcohol to underage minors.
Wow.
Included were the screenshots from the episode. While Season 1 is available to watch on YouTube, Seasons 2 and 3 were unaired. Only partial amounts of Season 2 are available online on the now inactive YouTube channel Lighthearted Productions, which supposedly has ties to the show. A majority of her appearance, which was Season 2, Episode 9, is lost. In her final question, in Season 2, Episode 10, available on YouTube, she is asked if she suspects her father has ever had sexual relations with a minor while he was an adult. Tearfully, she says yes, and wins the top prize. The situation is terribly uncomfortable, as their family is unsure how to approach her afterwards, and Melanie is reluctant to hug her family. Linked in the Reddit post was a blog written by Melanie Williams herself, in which she details her experience with the episode. According to Williams, she grew up in a, quote, very strict, closed, and secretive polygamous community, where women were not allowed to speak up for themselves. As such, she went on the game show as an opportunity to expose this lifestyle. Quote, "I wanted to go on the lie detector and be a voice for the young girls who are pressured to be married before they figure out who they are. My dad lied on the show about his fourth wife, Joy, who was 14 when she was told to marry my dad. There are many underage marriages that happen in these communities, and it's not right. This is America, and we should be protecting these young women." Attached to the blog is a YouTube link, which sadly no longer works. By using the Wayback Machine, we can see that the video was titled Melanie Williams at the Moment of Truth, followed by some Arabic text that reads, quote, Scandal Program, Moment of Truth. The video was uploaded by a channel called Mena the Master, and most of the viewable comments are in Arabic. Translating these comments doesn't amount to much anyways. Alright, so as I was writing the script for this portion of the video, Accurate Squirrel 189 made a follow-up post that was locked and removed a day later by the admins of the Lost Media subreddit. Given its subject matter, I'm not too surprised, but I still wanted to know what it contained. I reached out to Accurate Squirrel, and they were kind enough to send me their deleted post.
Okay, good. I was wondering what was going on. It's just my
Post.
fiber optic slowing.
And mostly recapped what we've already discussed. But 3 very interesting links were also included. First was a video that showed a preview of the episode.
This woman from St. George, Utah tells all about growing up in a polygamist family.
Your father...
I don't remember this show. I'm terrible at watching. Hosted by Mark Wahlberg. What? Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch? You were on this? Oh, come on.
Your father has 38 children. Your mother had how many?
My mom had 14 with him, and she had her 15th from her new husband.
The second was an archived YouTube playlist of all Moment of Truth episodes by Lighthearted Entertainment. Season 2, Episode 9, where Williams began her round, is conveniently missing. And lastly, an article about the episode, which included some of the questions asked. As of the writing of this video, this episode remains unreleased. Accurate Squirrel has stated that they, at the very least, want it to be found so Williams' story can be told. I personally just feel really bad for Melanie. I know lie detectors aren't super reliable, but if that stuff really happened, that's sickening and awful. Her blog was last updated in 2012, and I couldn't find much about her whereabouts since. So wherever she's at now, I sincerely hope she's doing better.
Wow. Oh, come on. That's great. You built a solar panel on the go. Good for you.
Lost media from other parts of the world are always tricky to talk about, but in the case of this missing TV episode, there are so many interesting and ominous aspects to this mystery that I had to include it. To preface, in 1992, the skeletal remains of an unidentified person were found in a park in Norway. This person was likely in his early to mid-20s and had a slim figure. Initially, investigators couldn't determine the deceased's gender because they had feminine hips, yet a masculine skull. In 2022, modern analysis concluded that this person was most likely a male. Where this gets interesting are the items that were found near the body. A single 1,000 Norwegian banknotes, multiple plastic bags containing German branded food like bread, baking powder, and wine, a map of southern Norway, a teddy bear that was repaired various times, and clothing, including Levi's jeans, a brown jacket, a German-made pullover, hiking boots, and a German-made poncho. Given the lack of a backpack or proper hiking gear, police suspected that he might have been a novice hiker who strayed off path and froze to death. It's also highly likely that this person was of German origin, which would explain his unfamiliarity with the area. The case received a lot of attention, and the unidentified man has been nicknamed Teddy Bjorn Mannen, in reference to the well-kept teddy bear he was found with. So here's where the lost media comes into play. In the spring of 2022, a Norwegian TV show called Asted Nordga aired a special about this case. The program covered unsolved mysteries and true crime cases. And in this episode, a German man actually came forward with a lead. According to this person, they recalled viewing an episode from the German talk show Fliege in 1998, in which a female guest talked about how her son went missing in Norway. If true, this could actually identify Teddy Bjorn Mannen and bring closure to his family. The only problem is that this episode cannot be found. Not only could Fliege's host not recall such an episode, but the TV station searched through their archives and found nothing. This mystery became popular online, and since then, tons of theories have been offered. Unsurprisingly, there are some who believe the German person either fabricated the story or is misremembering which TV show he saw it from. This was over 20 years ago after all. Some people believe that the host might be misremembering, as the show had over 2,000 episodes. But if the TV station did truly look through its archives and found nothing, I think this is unlikely. Again, the language barrier makes this piece difficult to research. If any of the 3 Germans who happen to be watching this know any information, or better yet, have footage of this episode, feel free to post a comment or reach out. In the past year or so, there's been a growing interest in recovering handheld footage and images from 9/11. I'm sure it's for historical or archival purposes, but there's definitely some morbid curiosity involved. But I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't admit that the topic is pretty fascinating. Obviously, smartphones didn't exist in 2001, but handheld cameras did, as well as ways of sharing videos online, even before YouTube. So there's definitely some rare amateur footage out there. For example, on the podcast Missing on 9/11 by John Walczak, supposedly the FBI found a camera in the pockets of one of the jumpers. And that camera not only survived, but had images of inside the tower while it was under attack. Walczak tried to get his hands on some of the photos, but the FBI basically ignored him. In all honesty, I highly doubt this will ever leak. Also recently, someone actually recovered new footage of the first plane hitting the towers. This is significant because, for the longest time, there was only ever one video of the first plane. After all, it was a surprise attack. But new footage from a guy in the area who just happened to be recording from his car.
I'm guessing that's the plane right there.
Surfaced online. Then there's this dude who was looking for the music that played in the World Trade Center Plaza on 9/11. That's a separate rabbit hole entirely.
Yeah.
Probably most infamous, however, is a shock video called LOL Superman. The story goes that in 2015, a user on 4chan posted about this video that he apparently saw on YouTube in the mid-2000s. It was apparently taken from right outside of the towers on 9/11 and actually showed the jumpers hitting the floor. Given its content and title, the video received negative feedback and was unsurprisingly removed. The 4chan post received quite some attention and comments from users claiming to have also seen it, but nothing was really uncovered. The mystery really took off on Reddit when a user posted a supposed photo from LOL Superman. A different user commented that he apparently submitted a Freedom of Information Act request, but it was outright denied. However,
It should.
the FBI sort of confirmed its existence. Quote, the material you requested is located in an investigative file, which is exempt from disclosure. Whether this is referring to LOL Superman, or just any video featuring the jumpers, is anyone's best guess. There just isn't a whole lot of verifiable information on this video, and even the supposed screenshot from Reddit was later debunked. It actually originates from a tourist who was merely visiting the World Trade Center in June 2001. Then there's this screenshot, which is said to depict the cameraman who filmed LOL Superman. Since then, search efforts have slowed down, and a community of people archiving footage from 9/11 has formed. I spoke with one of the moderators of their Discord, and they are of the opinion that LOL Superman might not exist. First of all, the supposed witnesses have given conflicting information or are vague on the details. Second, back in the mid-2000s, there were a ton of edgy videos of the jumpers with music and stuff that were mass removed once YouTube became more regulated. It's not difficult to see how people could have misconstrued a few of these together. At the end of the day, whether or not this video exists, I personally don't think it needs to be found. Well,
all right, we're gonna stop it there as soon as this commercial's done. All right, we're gonna stop it there for part one. Yeah, I don't think anyone needs to see the jumpers. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna end this here. Like and subscribe, and until next time, have a good day, have a good night.